Good morning. I don't know if you could see, but I'm wearing a shirt that says, Breathe, you are online. So let's all breathe because we are all online. I bought this shirt just a few weeks ago from the Buddhist nuns at the lower hamlet of Plum Village, which is the monastery and retreat center founded by Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh in Plum Village, France. And I'd like to begin this teaching today on this week's Torah portion with a short guided meditation to bring me and us present to how we are both sitting in our chairs in our rooms and online. We are so much bigger than we realize. And then I will connect this to this week's Torah portion. Um, so one of the beginning images um, presented in this Torah portion this week, uh, which is where the guided meditation will lead us into, is I think Torah saying to us, wake up to how vast you are, how influential you are, to that you are not just this physical land of your body. That the body as land is way bigger than what we think. So just settling into your chair. And as I say these words, use it to follow your breath and maybe feel something through the words if that's accurate for you. Just taking a deep breath, breathing in. I know I'm breathing in, breathing out. I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, feeling your in breath all the way through. Breathing out. Breathing in, I know I'm sitting in this chair. Breathing out, I feel myself being held in this chair, on this chair. And breathing in, I feel my feet on the floor. Breathing out, I feel the floor, the chair holding me. Feeling my body settling as I'm held here. Breathing in, I know I'm also online. I'm aware somehow that my body is in this chair and my being is online. I'm aware, breathing in. Somehow I'm alone in this room. Breathing out. I'm in a room on Zoom with all of you. And then people who aren't even in the room might watch this. And now I'm there with you. Ah, breathing in, I'm feeling the expansiveness of the I, the Anoki, which is how Rebecca experiences herself at the beginning of this week's Torah portion as an Anoki, a being with agency that has received this power in the image from another living being that has created all of us, passed on to all of us this capacity to affect what goes on in the world. Breathing in, being online, being in my chair, being in my room, being in you, feeling me in you. I'm huge. I don't know what the limits are. And the Torah portion begins with Rebecca, Rivka, having this same experience of what's happening, but she feels it because she's pregnant with twins in her womb. She feels this great disturbance inside her body, and somehow she knows that these twins are in her land, in the land of Rebecca, the land of her body, the land that has the capacity to usher in two nations that for thousands of years will continue to be a flashpoint for all the struggles and suffering of humanity. She feels this in her body. She is that land. We are all that land of the struggle between humans, all of us brothers, all of us sisters, all of us. Rebecca feels this struggle that her joy at becoming pregnant has turned to anguish. And she asks, well, why? Why is this struggle? Why do I suffer? Why do we suffer? Why is it that the very things that seem the most meaningful to our existence, bearing children, nurturing life, nurturing plants, nurturing ourselves, whatever it is that we nurture, why is it that what seems the most meaningful in our lives turns into struggle over and over? And we feel so helpless. And what happens? What happens to the love that our nurturing and our life-giving power that's been given to us? What happens when it turns to struggle, to violence? And we ask, why do we exist? And this is Rebecca's question at the beginning of this week's Torah portion. If this is what love turns into, why? Why do I exist? So I want to dedicate these words of Torah this morning to mothers everywhere in the world, Palestinian mothers, Israeli Jewish mothers, Palestinian Israeli mothers, mothers in Sudan, mothers down the road from me in Charlotte, North Carolina, who were seized yesterday by ICE. I want to dedicate these words of Torah to mothers who are suffering because they've birthed sons and daughters who are being sent off to war, turned into ICE agents. Can you imagine if this is what your love has turned into? And to all the mothers who understand intuitively, we know that the ones they are fighting are their own brothers. And I'm using brothers in the non-gendered sense, if that's possible. So I bought this shirt, Breathe, You Are Online. And I hope you could get a sense of what these guided meditations, which we could do for ourselves every morning, where they can bring us. I bought this shirt and I was there with a delegation of Jewish Israelis and Palestinians, all women, all mothers. All have birthed sons, one just two daughters like me. They've all birthed young beings of love from love in the land of Rebecca's body, which is the land of Israel, the land that just a few Torah portions back, Abraham was told, this land will be shown to you, something new and wondrous. Only when you set forth on a journey of leaving a narrow identification, of leaving everything you were taught to war on behalf of. And Rebecca did that. Young Rebecca, she was the most unqualified yes in all of Torah. Do you want to come with me back to the land that you will be shown? Yes. And I watched these women, these Rebeccas, these Jewish and Palestinian Rebeccas, my friends, my colleagues, dedicated peacemakers who had not been together physically since October 7th, fall in and out of seeing each other as enemies, as the source of their own suffering. Their suffering so huge, they felt it so deeply in their body that everyone became a threat. This is what we're playing out today. And so, what is there in this week's Torah portion that can just give us a hint of a way out? So, this week's portion is called Toledot, generations. Mother, daughter, grandmother, father, these generations. And what the Torah portion is saying through the questioning of the mothers and the sons is learn to use your agency to create space. Space within you, within your heart, within your body, to hold everyone so that everyone can shine, so that everyone can become a great nation, so that everyone can receive the blessing of this incarnation in this body. And Rebecca, it begins seeing this struggle, feeling it, feeling the roots of this struggle. It's part of our human DNA. We have to stop blaming each other and shaming ourselves. Torah is like, hey, it's just how things are. And we can wrestle with why. And let's wrestle with why, but not from blaming others or shaming ourselves or cutting off parts of ourselves or cutting off parts of the other. No, and Rebecca models that. She doesn't ignore this struggle that she feels in her womb of these two twins. She doesn't turn away from it. She feels it in her body. And she asks, why? Why do I exist? And the framing of her question is, Lama ze anoki? Why this beingness? So there's two words that I could think of right now that Torah uses for the I am, the human I am, the ani and the anoki. And the anoki, I think mostly, and certainly how I think of it. So Rebecca's saying anoki, why this anoki? It's this is the characteristic of the I, the I am, my I amness, my beingness that is directly in the image of the creator back in in the creation story. So Rebecca is already knowing, experiencing this human struggle in her, this tragedy of love turning to violence, to brothers killing and threatening each other. She's already understanding that she is the Anoki feeling this. She is the Shekhinah. She is the emanation of the divine feminine aspect, which is the form that we are. This is who we are, this I am, this Anochi. And she's saying, go back to your core, essential, who you are, and ask, why? Why is there struggle in me? Why is there struggle in the world? Don't turn away from this question. Live this question. And this is again Rebecca modeling for us. Don't just give up and feel helpless. It's so easy to do that. Instead of feeling helpless, she asks, and it doesn't say who she asks, she just asks, why? Lama ze anoki? Why this? Why this? And then after she asks, she goes to have a word, a drash, a wisdom exchange with the Yud Vav, with the mystery. And she receives a direct realization back in the form of a verse of poetry. She receives poetry from the vastness. And the poetry is make room in yourself, make space within you in the way you think, in the way you love, in the way you understand, so that everyone, everything that is within you, everything that is within the land that you are, the land that you represent, so that everything can become a great nation. And I think, again, this is the deep Torah, Dharma, wisdom teaching for us as we struggle in our world today. What do we do in the face of wars, violence, struggle being carried out in our names? If we're Jewish, it's in our names in relation to Palestine. If we're American, it's in our name in relation to brown-skinned people who are really making our country work. We have to start by making space within ourselves. This was the first message from Rebecca. And that has to happen. We see through the earlier journeys that Rebecca and Abraham and Sarah and Hagar all took. Leave the confines of the places where you are taught that it's okay to go to war. Leave those places. And the Torah portion goes on to Esau, one of the twins. So the twins in Rebecca are Jacob and Esau. And the Torah portion goes on to Esau, our next great teacher in this Torah portion. Esau cries out to his father, Isaac, who blindly has allowed Jacob to usurp all of Esau's inheritance. Esau cries out, Father, isn't there space for both of us to be blessed? Isn't there space for all of us to be blessed? So from Rebecca making space within Esau, the son who's come out, who's been cast out really by his own mother and the blindness of his father, he's not running away from the question either. Isn't there space for all of us to be blessed? And Esau goes off on his own journey to figure out how to receive back the power, the agency of his Anochi. And he does at the end of the Parsha. Not from his mother. It was kind of gifted from his mother and father. He had to be cast out, as was Hagar. Esau and Hagar cast out to find their own way, their own encounter, cast out from the identity that minimized them, right? That weaponized them. Both Hagar and Esau had to leave to find their way back to receiving their true inheritance. So these are the questions for our time, for all time. Isn't there room for all of us to be blessed? Isn't there a way to heal the trauma of violence and separation that we all have been born into and that gets passed on and relived and drummed into us and taught in our schools and in our synagogues and churches through the narratives, cultures, and systems of patriarchy and domination? And I'll just end with something from the Holy Zohar, this probably the most influential commentary on our Torah. The Holy Zohar, the fundamental text of Jewish mysticism and of Hasidut, says on this Torah portion that the next level of consciousness, individually for each of us and collectively for humanity, will not manifest until the tears of Esau are exhausted, until we heal and release the tears of Esau. So, thank you so much.